So the first thing, as of any of those videos moving forward, that we're going to look into is going to be the weekly calendar. Yeah, what's going to happen in the market, what are the news that we're looking at, and then from there we'll go into the deeper analysis of where I think the weekly market is going, and if you want more detail, join the Telegram group. Pretty much everything is there. I will give a little bit of breakdown of what has happened this week, and some of the trade insight that I executed on, and I kind of put it into the Telegram group. So this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purpose only, and trading is risky. So trade mindfully, be careful. Don't use this as a trade signal. I'm just making those videos because, like I say, this is kind of like a journal for myself where I do my pre-analysis and then see how the market unfolds. It gives me more confidence. It gives me a better understanding of the market as we go into the week. So calendar is this week, which is October 22nd to October 28th. That's pretty much the last week of October, because next week we're pretty much into November and NFP and all the news that are coming up. Okay, yeah, apparently Feds have been talking about, they've been talking pretty much throughout the month of October, especially last week. We had a lot of speech done by the Feds that happened, and they moved the market and all this kind of stuff. So apparently for the next week and next couple of weeks, or this week and the next until I think November 2nd, they are on some kind of like blackout, like a break. I just read it right now on a journal, but I couldn't find it. So, we may see some ease in the market, less manipulation, like what we just had this week. But, also we still got to be mindful of the trading calendar, what's in the market. It's the end of the month, what can happen, all this kind of stuff. So looking at the calendar, Monday, is a bunch of yellow folder, not any impactful news. Most of the impactful news that I'm seeing so far is coming out of Europe, the European Central Bank, and so like on Monday, if you are trading in London, you have to be careful, especially with the PMI in France and in Germany. And then for us, we have to be careful because we do have PMI on Tuesday, flash PMI service. We have CPI for the Audi, which is in the evening. On Wednesday, we do have new home sale coming in, and then crude oil inventory, which I think Wednesday would be a nice day to trade with less headache, with less volatility, something normal at least, since we haven't had one of those in a long time. Thursday seems nice as well, but we do have unemployment claims, which you gotta be careful. It's a big news. We do have advanced GDP, core durable goods, etc. And then we do have FOMC Waller speaks at 9, and we have pending home sale. So Thursday will be a little bit animated, and Friday we do have FOMC bar that is going to speak, and we do have PCE price index, which is a red folder, and we do have revised UOM consumer sentiment that's going to come in the market. So it seems to be a nice week. We'll probably see volatility in the market. We'll see some expansion in the market, and it's just to keep in mind. Personally, I wouldn't be in the market scanning the market between Monday and Tuesday. Ideally, I would like to be there on Wednesday. Maybe take the Thursday off because I got stuff to do, and then Friday to see how the month closes and what's happening in the market, etc. So now that we got that out of the way, now let's look at our key level going into the week. Well, prior to that, and then going into the week, and what are the expectations that I have in price. So yes, we're gonna start with DXY. DXY, last week it was this bull candle where I put the buy side at 106,787. It opened and it closed at this level, which is a consequent encroachment of the first half of this inefficiency. And I was expecting an expansion going into the week, but we did not get that. It did return back into that daily fair value gap, which I was expecting an expansion higher from the fair value gap because we did trade back into this lower level here, and it did not do it. So right now, DXY is kind of in a consolidation where it is indecisive between wanting to go higher, but also it might retrace lower, which going into this week, I'm still bullish because it hasn't shown anything that will make me want to be bearish or think that, okay, we're going to have a reversal or anything like that. We may see some retracement coming in the week, but ideally, I would like to see DXY get above the 106.77 and above the buy side here, which has a level of that I'm expecting DXY to go to. If we were to look at DXY on the daily time frame, but basically this is what it did last week. The week prior to last week, it opened and it closed around this area, and it opened on Monday, basically trade back and forth between this inverted fair value gap and this level, which is of course a correction of the first half of the monthly fair value gap. So it keeps bouncing between the two, and it is indecisive. I don't know which way it's gonna move. I like how it's finding support in the inverted fair value gap. Ideally, I want to see an expansion this week above this level, maybe finding a support here by the end of the month before we attack the month of November. So ES, you know the place. Like that's the gem right there. So on ES, as I said last week, the week prior to last week, we get back into this weekly inversion fair value gap. I said that I like how price reported the inversion fair value gap stayed below the correction of the weekly CV, which is something that I liked. I thought it was nice, and I was expecting retracement lower, below this low, which is below the 4,300 level. It is in the video. Don't take my word for it. My last week breakdown, I specifically said that I would like to see price go below the 4,300 and lower than that. In my Telegram group, I did post those levels again a day prior to the drop, and like usually, I'm starting to do that now. Where I'm kind of like pointing my level of interest in the market and where I would like to see price to go. So as you can see here, I say on the 18th, I say that, okay, on S&P, note the 4,300 big figure and then the 4,284, and I put on my sell side at 4,240. The market did close at 4,248.50, which is very close to my sell side, and then it did drop lower than the 4,300 and the 4,287 level, which is kind of like, okay, those are things that I do in the Telegram group if you were to be in the Telegram group chat. But it's up to you, you can do that. But that's the insight of last week of how we've been moving so far. Now, going into this week, what would I like to see in terms of like DXY and how price is behaving? Ideally, going into this week, I would like it to open, right, gapped higher, trade back into the weekly consecutive correction around 42.88, and then attack the sell side below 42.44, and then maybe trade back into this zone, which is below 4,200. So going into this week, I'm bearish on ES, and my speculation is that it will trade up into the consecutive correction and then trade lower back below 4,200. It's not certain that this is what it's going to do. We might open on Sunday and Monday, it trades straight below, take out this low, and invalidate everything that I'm saying right now. Or it may open, reverse, go all the way back up. Things change. We are in a time of uncertainty. Things are happening in the world that is affecting the market. So things are not 100% sure. So just keep that in mind as you are watching the video, and then you are looking at the speculation that I'm doing here. But yeah, that's pretty much what I personally want on DXY. And we go into NQ. What is happening in NQ? What do I favor in NQ? NQ. So pretty much NQ is the same thing. Last week I did say that, I like how the body of the candle did respect the weekly CB. Prior to that, if you were trading the week prior to last week, you will see that by, I think, Wednesday, this was a full bull candle, right? But at the end of the week, it did close much lower, which I was expecting. I'm like, okay, we're finding a good level of support here. The expectation is that we'll probably continue to drop lower, taking this low, taking this, and then probably digging back into this volume imbalance right here, which he actually did. He moved to that level, and I'm pretty excited about that. Now that we deliver what is next, it's the end of the month, things are closing, market can enter consolidation, it can find a level of support, etc. So what I would like to see is this level still impactful, pushing the beginning of this week to kind of like move in between the two volume balance, and then potentially after that drop lower, get maybe below the 44,400 level. So that's my speculation on NQ. And we'll see. Like I said, things can change. I may be wrong, and that's okay. But at least I'm going into the market with the premise of, okay, this is what I'm expecting. If this happens, I may take a trade, and if this doesn't, I'm not gonna trade, right? Because it doesn't fit my narrative. I need to revisit everything that I just said here, go over my analysis, and then build a better plan going into the market. Now that we got that out of the way, let's look at what happened this week in the Telegram group. So in the Telegram group, as you can see here, on the 18th at 9:59 p.m. while I'm doing my pre-market analysis, I did point my level of interest, which one was the 106.67 and then the 106.77 on DXY, the 4300 and the 4488, and then the 4440 on ES, and NQ, the 14962, the 14879, and then sell side at 14,590.50. Those were the levels I pointed out the night prior to that. Going into Thursday, to that level I pointed out. And then early in the morning, DXY did take out its sell side liquidity per the sell side, but it did retrace lower, went back into that inverted fair value gap that I was pointing to. And then NQ did purge as well, returned prior to the New York session, and we also do have Powell speaking that day, which I pointed out that, okay, I was looking at the 4320 early in the New York session, AM session, but Powell was speaking in the launch, which 30 minutes prior to that, price was trading at that level, but couldn't quite get to it, and Powell was talking. I was in a trade, at this point that, okay, I exited my trade at 43.33, which wasn't quite where it was 10 handle or 13 handle away from where I wanted. Even though price did get as low as 22, I couldn't capitalize on the trade. Those things kind of like mess up with your psychology, which I needed to kind of like reassess myself before, because stuff like this happened where you're in a trade, you are waiting for that take profit, you get as close to that, like 2 points away, and then started moving away. But if you're not aware, Powell is on top, and you're like, no, there's no way I'm gonna be wrong. You jump back in the trade again, or you over leverage, and then Powell talks, and then the market goes crazy, and then you lose money on what is supposed to be a good day, right? So I did post here. This is my execution. At that time, AM session in New York here is 7 in the morning. This was my exit. This was my entry. I did enter at 43, 44, and I exited at 43.34, which is about 10 handle, and the result of that was $300 on the trade. And yeah, so it was $300 on the trade, and then because I had two accounts, those were from two different accounts, and on the other account it was like $270 or something. So once I exited that trade during lunch, I'm out of the market. I'm doing my little stroll, trying to like reset myself, get my psychology back together, and this happened, right? That's on NQ. That's when power talk. You get this candle open, drop all the way back and down in a space of 1 minute. Like, how do you trade this stuff? So I was like, look at that, and I put the little clown thing over there, and then after it does all of the stuff with power, trade lowers at my 43.20, which was when my take profit was at, but I did miss it, and it ended up doing something like that. After power, take out the 20, goes all the way back up, then drop. Which I pointed out, and like, check this candle out, Lord. Why would you want to risk your capital in this? Pure manipulation. That's how people are speaking can affect the market. Always be careful when the Feds are speaking.